Well, good morning, welcome back. Now, next instalment on this old barge. Today I want to do something more towards the big service on the engine. I said this already, that it's a sweet engine but a raggedy old bike which we're going to turn into something completely different, extremely stripped, and we've decided on the direction it's going to be a bobber. But I'm drawing out some basic plans at the moment. I'm not ready to make a start yet because there's even more stuff to strip still at this point. So I want to do something more towards the big service on the engine to make sure it's all sweet going forward with the project. All right, now disregarding the cycle parts of your motorcycle service, that's your brake pads, chains, sprockets, bearings, all sorts of things. The engine service itself is pretty straightforward, as we all know. It's just a matter of changing fluids and checking some tolerances. Now, thankfully, on the Goldwing engine here, just like a Harley Davidson, they don't have valve clearances to check. They have hydraulic tappets and they're self-adjusting, so no issue there. It really is just a case of changing the fluids. Now, unlike a Harley Davidson, they don't have gearbox oil and they don't have primary oil. They only have one engine oil, and we've already changed that. But there is another fluid, possibly the most neglected fluid on any motorcycle servicing task. So what we're talking about? Coolant. Motorcycle coolant on liquid cooled engines gets neglected like brake fluid and fork oil because it's a long-term change. And there's another reason it gets neglected as well. It's all down to laziness of short-term owners. Now, not being disrespectful there, I think we're all as guilty of this as each other, me included. If you only intend to own a bike for a couple of years, are you really going to bother do a coolant change? You might do an oil and filter change, but coolant's a messy old business. It's a long-term thing. We'll leave that, pass it on to the next owner. And the next owner does that, and so does the next. And of course, if bikes are being traded in with dealerships for a newer bike, they don't bother to change the coolant unless it's something that's burningly obvious and the next customer specifically requests it. So if you haven't, chances are it hasn't been changed by the dealer either. So there you are. You can have a bike that's changed hands 8 or 9 times in a 15-year life and never had a coolant change. Imagine what it looks like in there, full of corrosion. So ultimately, it's always worth doing if you can be bothered. So as this old girl has probably got 33-year-old original factory coolant still in it, let's drain it out and see what it looks like. There, rusted right through. Right there, now I'm sure you can see what's wrong there. Firstly, great news, the coolant came out clean as a whistle, so clearly been replaced at some point. Bright fresh green, smells absolutely fresh, no particles in it whatsoever. Great, but the bad news is this tiny little elbow union here on the water pump has rusted through and got a hole in it. So possibly we could need a new water pump. I've had a quick look online and a new water pump is over £180. A serious disappointment and a blow to the budget, but that's the way it goes with old motorcycles. So what I'm going to try and do now is, obviously that is a steel elbow union in an aluminium plate, face plate on the pump. So it's obviously applied there somehow. Is it maybe screwed in from the inside? Can that elbow union itself just be replaced? Do I need a whole new pump? Well, we can't tell till we get the pump off. And that's the next challenge. Now, you'll remember who you are. One of you contacted me recently and sent me some pictures of your pump having been removed from your Goldwing and 3 broken studs. And that's very common. It's a bit of a disaster. These 4 little M6 metric screws that hold the pump on, obviously in this position where the elbow rusted through, what they're going to be like. So are they going to crack and come off nicely, or are they going to snap off? What kind of dramas await? Let's see. Right, so here's the damage. This little feed hose, steel. There's a hole in it right there. Look. Just literally rusted through because of the location it's in, right behind the front wheel, getting the road blasts for all those years. Simply wear and tear. And that's what we've got to take off. Try this one. There's the first one snapped off. Second one snapped off. And this one's going to go as well. There we go. There, 3 out of 4 snapped off. Reminds me of the header pipes on the Hayabusa years ago, where 6 out of 8 snapped off. A little bit of drama to deal with now. Let's actually get the pump off though and see if I can remove that pipe, because at least that will save the cost of a new pump. The stud's broken, I can deal with. How long are they? And the thread's only on the bottom bit. That's going to be hilarious to get them out. Even the Jubilee clip snapped. There, as you can see, today's title wasn't clickbait after all. It is indeed a complete coolant disaster. Coolant itself is fine. That turned out to be good news. I could have actually put that back in the engine. It's clearly been changed recently. But the same can't be said for the pump itself. Now, in an ideal world, what I'd love to be able to do is buy just the front plate with the 2 steel elbow unions, because that's all that's corroded through. There's nothing else wrong with it. But knowing my luck, you probably can't. You have to buy the entire pump. And also, I've got to take the entire pump off the bike anyway, because one of the studs, there's 2 that hold it into the bike, and the other 2 just hold the front plate on. Well, they're okay, because I can drill them through and put a nut on the back. But one of the studs is still in the engine. So I've got to take the whole thing off the engine to remove that stud, and with that, all the oil is going to come with it. So I've got to drain out the new oil I've just put in. But there we go. That's what doing up old bikes is all about. 1 step forward, 4 steps back. So that's it for today. I've got some shopping and some research to do. Take it easy, ride safe. I'll see you next time.